Hi, Questers. Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, we got the article from Radio Times now. It's out. It's been out for a few hours, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. We know what the ratings are. And just to give you a recap, let's actually change that. I said the wrong one when I set it up. Okay, so just to recap, this was the ratings for 73 yards, 7.62 million. Highest rated overnight figures for the entire series so far. Yes, I know people are saying that those numbers don't matter, but they do, especially when they go up by 20,000 views. Because the figure is, if it beats out the first episode. But for a comparison, I want to show you the overnight numbers and everything for Series 11 of Doctor Who, which is when Jodie Whittaker first showed up. So we're going to take a quick look at those. Now, the interesting thing to remember is Jodie Whittaker is not exactly the most popular of the Time Lords, right? She's not the most popular version of Doctor Who. So we're going to take a look. As you can see, the overnight numbers are a lot more than these episodes. So we're going to go for the first. We're going to take a look at the first 4 episodes. So we're just going to concentrate on these 4. We also have the audience index for these, so we'll get a glimpse of what it would be like, supposedly. So yeah, when Jodie Whittaker first appeared in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, I believe it was, episode 1 overnight numbers were 8.2 million. With a 10.54 million TV only, so that's people that watched on TV when it went live, and then it was 10.96 million on everything across BBC and iPlayer. So yeah, the 10.54 million. We know this number includes basically when it aired on BBC One, same as well as whoever recorded it for watching again later on. So yeah, it's going to be greater because they will be. But that's 10.54 million people watched it and then recorded it to watch it again later, or recorded it to watch it later, not using iPlayer. It's 10.96 for when they watched, including everything with BBC, people who recorded it to watch it, and also iPlayer. So 10.96 million. Now that's a big difference in the first episode, and then you got the second episode. It drops 9.11 million, 8.67 million, and then 9 million after that. So we get the audience index of 83 and 82, which means that it's not. Well, we go up here. So yeah, over 90 is considered exceptional. 85 or over is excellent. So it did excellently according to the numbers. But you got to bear in mind that this is Jodie Whittaker on her first appearance, and her lowest number was 5.07 million. That was her lowest number in her first season, and that's who watched it live. So the lowest figure for Jodie Whittaker over 7 days is 6.42 million, right? Which is 220,000 more than the previous number. So we know that her worst episode of season 1 did so much better. Sorry about that, I kicked the bag. Did so much better than any episode of this Doctor Who, has done. I could go back even further if you like. I could do that in a later video comparing the first seasons, or the first seasons of the New Doctors. I could do that, but I think it'll be a waste of time because these are perfect numbers to use for an example. So, yeah, it's not good. It's certainly not good when the numbers for the new one are so much lower than normal. I mean, the lowest that Shooty's got is 2.04. So it's going to be interesting to see the 7-day numbers over the next couple of days. The TV Plus 4 screen, which is including all of them, by the way. If you don't believe me, look, if you read this. So plus 7 consolidated ratings include those who recorded and watched within a week. So that's recorded and watched. That does not include iPlayer. The plus 4 screens includes iPlayer, right? Because it includes tablets, PCs, and smartphones, which is where people tend to normally choose to watch on iPlayer. Because if you're at home and you've got a TV, you might as well watch it on BBC, right? Which makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So, yeah, the numbers don't look good. They certainly don't look good. And we're going to take a look at the article now from Radio Times, which currently is the only other place doing articles about Doctor Who. Not many other sites are doing it that I can find. Not any new stuff anyway. They're all talking about old things. But for the overnight ratings confirmed by mysterious episode 73 yards, it's not mysterious at all. This episode saw the biggest overnight ratings of the season so far. That's correct. That's absolutely correct. This is by James Hibbs, published Sunday, 26th of May, 2024 at 1:14 p.m. As of recording this, it's 19:17, so it's 7:17 p.m. The overnight ratings are in for the fourth episode of Doctor Who, season 14, 73 yards. And it says the biggest number of viewers tuning in so far. It should say suggests the biggest. Anyway, according to figures from Barb via Doctor Who TV, so they're getting the numbers from the same place as I am. The episode was watched during its BBC One transmission by 2.62 million viewers, up on the current most watched episode, the season premiere, Space Babies. That episode was watched by 2.6 million live, while 2.4 million watched The Devil's Cord and 2.04 watched Boom. Of course, it should be noted that all these figures are only representative of the BBC One overnight audience. That is correct, because they are using the overnight figures, which do not show everything. They just the immediate numbers. So yeah, this means they are unrepresentative of the overall viewing figures, particularly now that the show has switched to BBC iPlayer first release strategy. Well, really? I mean, it's been doing that from the start, so why are you constantly saying that it's been switched? It's already doing it. They did it from episode 1. First release strategy. The full figures include iPlayer viewers over 7 days will be released in due course. Yeah, every Monday and Tuesday. We seem to get the consolidated figures the following Monday. Well, for the previous week, we get it on the Monday, and also the normal 7-day figures for TV only, which will be the including the people who recorded it to watch later. That come out tomorrow. That come out Tuesday, I think. That's the way it happened. That's the way it worked last week, so I'm assuming that's going to happen this week. 73 Yards was one of the show's most mysterious episodes yet, with little revealed but about its plot to transmission prior to transmission. Sorry. Influenced by Welsh folk horror, not much of a horror. I don't think I'd be too happy if I was Welsh and knew about that specific story. It saw Ruby being followed by a woman who always stayed 73 yards away after the Doctor disappeared. Yes, it's true. But the story behind it, the fact that Russell T Davies had to stand on Swansea Pier, measure out 73 yards to see what it meant. Really? Moron. The season's next episode, Dot and Bubble, which just looks like I know they're talking about going into the Dark Mirror style for an episode or two, or Black Mirror, I should say. But as far as I can tell, they're not going to do it. I mean, they had a chance to do some folk horror, and there was a Jodie Whittaker episode that was actually a ghost story, which was considerably more scary than this. Not that it was scary. I'm just saying. It was more spooky than this. So yeah, has been described by showrunner Russell T Davies as our clearest step into Black Mirror territory. It's not going to be anything like Black Mirror. If anything, it looks more like that one of those, that final episode of Eccleston. You know, where they're sent into those games. I think Rose Tyler was sent into the weakest link with Android. Captain Jack was sent into makeover show, and Eccleston, the Doctor, was sent into the Big Brother house. Although he said there's a little bit more freedom and Doctor Who madness in it. Ooh, really? It's going to be bad then. The ratings will drop again. He also explained that he previously pitched the episode to Stephen Moffat for his era of the show, but that it was too expensive to make at the time. So Disney money. So yeah, Davies said, I thought of it way back when, around 2009. Not way back when then, is it? You pitched it a year later, when I was still working on Doctor Who, because I pitched it to Stephen Moffat in a restaurant in Los Angeles. He was saying, would you come back and write for the program? Every year he'd ask me, how lovely. Sure he did. Sure he did. So I pitched the this episode in April 2010 in a restaurant called House on Abbot Kinney Boulevard. Karen Gillan, who played Amy Pond, was there. They were in LA to launch their first series. And I remember pitching, I used to call this Visible Twitter. Visible Twitter. What a moron. We didn't go very far with the conversation because the idea was literally too expensive, but you wait 15 years and here we are. Yeah, when you originally pitched it like 15 years ago, it was probably a lot better than what we're going to get, to be honest. Let's just put it in things, ideas change over a period of 15 years. They'll change over a year's period. So yeah, because you'll always come up with new ideas and new ways to do certain things in ideas that you've maybe put down. So you'll always change your mind. You'll always have different ideas on where something should go. And your ideas on where things should go with Doctor Who right now are not doing very well, are they? They're not doing very well. They're doing better than they're doing worse than Jodie Whittaker's era of Doctor Who, which is saying something because she is not the most liked Doctor Who, right? And now you've got Ncuti, and his numbers are maybe over 1 million less views overnight. I mean, I can't wait to see more of the 7-day ratings. We'll get more tomorrow. I'm sure we will, and I will do a video on that. And hopefully, I can get your guys' ideas. Let me know down below what you think, because I think it is outstandingly ironic that they're trying to say that this show is so amazing. I mean, I'm going to show you the Rotten Tomatoes. I know it's been getting shown on other channels. And I don't usually go to Rotten Tomatoes because let me just show you something, right? Atlas. Okay. This is the Jennifer Lopez sci-fi movie that came out on Friday. And if you look at the numbers, just a second, let me share this. If you look at the numbers, it's weird. Okay. And it's weird for a specific reason. So if I show you, so 16% rotten. So that's top critics and everyone. So if I click on that, it's top, top critics. They've got the reviews out. Atlas often feels like a missed opportunity, hampered by sluggish pacing and a lack of depth in character development for everyone else except me, except the main character. Well, there was no character development for anyone else because they died. Pretty much everyone else died. She was on her own through most of it. The audience, yeah, we're getting to see the audience. I thought the movie was quite enjoyable with great action and entertaining tech. I agree with everyone who said that most actors were wasted in the movie. It did not need to be this J-Lo centered. 4 stars. 4 stars. So yeah, there's someone here gave it a half a star. A horrible movie. The main character J-Lo was very annoying. Yeah, well, tell you what, she was, and hard to like or feel anything for. The plot was boring. They even managed to squeeze in pronouns. Can't understand how J-Lo gets all these roles. 0 out of 10. Waste of 2 hours. Yeah, but you've given it half a. You didn't have to give it a star, did you? Is that part of the thing? Anyway, but I mean, this is just in comparison, right? So this was actually This was actually what I thought. This was actually a good movie. Not brilliant, but it's certainly better than some of the stuff that we've been getting. And compared to Doctor Who, this was actually, in comparison to the new Doctor Who, this was an outstanding movie. This is outstanding writing and stuff. So that's just in comparison, guys. I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm not saying it's brilliant. I'm just saying judge for yourself because I really enjoyed it. I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was outstanding or great. I just thought it was a good sci-fi. But when we come into Doctor Who, if I can find it, let me see. I have actually put this up for you, haven't I? Yes, I have. So when I come into Doctor Who, I'm going to type in Doctor Who. Oh. Right, so Doctor Who, we have to go for the 2023 one. Okay, so this is the Doctor Who, right? This is the entire season, okay? On the tomato meter, it was 96, right? And it's there we go, 100% top critics, all critics 96, audience score 34. Did I point out the audience score for Atlas? No, I didn't think I did I? So let's go back to Atlas again. Right, so for Atlas, the audience score was 55. So so the audience score is higher than Doctor Who, but the critics are, well, they're quite harsh on it, actually, saying that it's rotten. But 12 rotten, 4 fresh. All critics 16, but the audience score is 55. Really? I mean, would you trust that number? Would you trust the critic numbers? Because I would. I think I would go. I tend to follow more the audience score rather than the tomato meter and critic score. The problem is a lot of people won't watch it because they'll see people like me doing reviews, and yeah, but that's besides the point. So we need to go back to Doctor Who now. Give me a second. So we need to go back to Doctor Who 2023. So when you look at the audience score again, 34. That's for the entire season, right? So we haven't had an entire season. We had 4 episodes. So let's have a look at season 1 because that's including Church on Ruby Road. So that's including the special. So yeah. Let's see. Where's the? Oh look, we can look at reviews. Let's have a look at reviews. May the 22nd. Fun, lively, imaginative, with a whiff of Disneyfication. Yeah, sure. What is magnetically watchable and not technically. Yeah, sure. I was yeah, we got audience review. I was excited about the new Doctor and intrigued with the new companion, but the writing on this episode was dull and trite. I was hoping the show was perhaps just having trouble finding its footing, but the second. Let's read it. Let's read the full thing. But the second episode was even worse than this one. Something I don't think possible. Now, bear in mind. Top critics rated it at 93 and 100. So I would go by the audience numbers, not necessarily the tomato meter. Right. So let's have a look. Let's go to episode 3. Let's go to Boom. What numbers have got Boom? Boom has 87%. Well, 80% top critics, 87% all critics, 60%, 87%. But you notice something missing? I don't see an audience score. Do you? And this is for last week's episode. This is for Boom. There's no audience score. If I click on reviews, yeah, we get the yep. So we get all these. Oh, there's someone that's actually reading it. Rotten. Let's have a look at this. Right, I need to sing. Episode 3 of the new Doctor Who is called Boom, but a more accurate title would be. It consists of Tutti Gutwas, Time Lord, standing on a landmine for half an hour while crying. That is true. There's another one getting rotten. Here, the only tears will be those shed by frustrated Whovians, wondering why, despite a great cast and top-notch production values, the new Who can't seem to get its mojo running. But everyone else seems to be getting paid at this point by Disney and BBC. This is my suggestion. Top critics earn money from doing these reviews, and you have a top critic giving it a rotten score. They gave it a 2 out of 5. Another top critic giving it a rotten 2 out of 5. So I can understand there are people that are saying that they're looking at the series as a whole, but I'm looking at it episode by episode. I don't think there will be anything in for episode 4 yet. I don't think. I wouldn't have thought so. Let's have a quick look. Episode 4. Right. So episode 4. There's nothing in yet, but you notice that the audience score is missing again. Reviews. There are reviews. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Yet the audience score and are missing. We've got 3 reviews by the looks of it total, and they're all tomatoes. They're all tomatoes. They're all 90%. 5 out of 5. Would you trust these critics? And bear in mind that some of these critics would have watched Atlas and done and criticised Atlas, and they gave it a lower score because obviously Netflix wasn't paying them for it. Because I think all the critics there, most of them, pretty much all the critics for most of these things are actually very corrupt. In fact, I'm going to prove it. You do something else to prove it now. I need to think of a successful sci-fi show recently. Lost in Space. I reckon that's a loss. Let's have a look at Lost in Space. And it's a Netflix show. 2018. I loved Lost in Space. I've watched it at least 3 or 4 times. Look at that. 84% tomato meter. 78% audience score. What's the top? Oh, that's all critics. So it doesn't even have top critics. So this is the thing. And this is Fandango at Home, Season 1, Prime Video, Netflix. So, yeah, I would say that for the most part, whenever Disney's involved, they use the critics are corrupted. They're offered money and they take it because, they've got to make money at the end of the day. So I just think that the corruption in the critic system, especially considering the fact that critics are supposed to be neutral, right? They're not supposed to be biased in either way. They're supposed to be neutral. Otherwise, it's not a fair critic, right? It's like having a referee that supports one team in a game. You wouldn't have a referee who supports one of the teams playing on a football pitch because it's not right. It's not fair. So it's just one of those things. I mean, I know you're probably going to be wondering, why am I looking at Lost in Space? Why was I looking at Atlas? But I'm just trying to prove a point. Atlas was a pretty good show, a pretty good movie. Doctor Who was a terrible show, and this was an outstanding show. This is great sci-fi. Lost in Space, great sci-fi, in my opinion. It is one of the best. And it only had 3 seasons on Netflix, which is the common thing for, especially Netflix. 3 seasons is the max for most cases. There are rare occasions where they go to 5, maybe more. But I would love to see like a Lost in Space spin-off from Netflix. That would be outstanding. But what about if we? Let's have a look at the older Doctor Who. Let's look at Doctor Who season 11, right? So Doctor Who season 11, so 2005 onwards. Right, so we need series 11. So let's go down. Well, series 11, season 11. Will it show me the seasons? Doctor Who photos. Am I in the wrong place? I'm in the wrong place. Seasons. There we go. I need to click on seasons. Oh, there it is. Right, so we're going to look for season 11. I don't use Rotten Tomatoes that much. I just use them as like a reference sometimes, but I don't really talk about them. Season 11, come on. Jodie's first appearance. Come on. Let's see what happened when Jodie first came into it. There we go. Season 11. No, yeah, details. There we go. So for season 11, 90% on the tomato meter, 20% audience score. Yeah, I'd say the audience speak better. It does have over 5,000 ratings through Rotten Tomatoes at 20%, but 90% on. Do you see what I'm talking about with the 90% score with top critics? All critics is 90% as well. Yeah, I'd say there's something completely wrong with the critics that post on Rotten Tomatoes. I know they are general critics. They probably publish in multiple places, multiple websites, multiple patent magazines, articles, whatever. But you can't use Rotten Tomatoes as your go-to for the ratings, because their critics are shills. Basically, they're doing it for a paycheck, which has Disney on top of the check. It's literally what it is. So you can't use that to judge the show. Other things like Netflix, like movies and TV shows on other streaming services, they seem to be fine. It's balanced out. But it's Doctor Who and a lot of other Disney stuff, like Lucasfilm stuff and Marvel stuff. It seems to get boosted with the critics, but the audience scores are where the true metric lies on Rotten Tomatoes. Because that's everyday people. That's just people just like you and me that are rating it. They're logging in, they're rating it, they're leaving a review. That's it. The same thing I'm doing, except what I do is I do it publicly for you guys to listen to me say it. And you can always, if you agree with me, please do comment down below, and please do check out the merch and check out consider supporting the channel with the tipping link in the description below via Streamlabs. You could seriously help the channel out. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, stay safe, take care, and may the Schwartz be with you always.